guys, it is like noonish on October 23rd. It's a Friday, but after my office hours are over, then I have a meeting, and at 2:30 I will be done with everything, and I will be able to read, let me grab it, Crescent City, House of Earth and Blood by Sarah J. Maas. So I am halfway through this book now. I'm on page, actually I'm a little bit past halfway done. I'm on page 500. So it's not like me to read giant books so quickly. I usually take a long time when I'm reading giant books. I don't know why. It's always been a struggle. Like, I still haven't finished City of Heavenly Fire because it's so giant. So I'm really proud of myself for knocking out 500 pages since like Monday. So hopefully I can finish it by today or tomorrow. That's my goal. That's a really lofty goal, but I'm gonna try to do it. I just wanted to talk about it so far. Okay, so if you haven't read this book and you don't know who Sarah J. Maas is, what are you doing? Sarah J. Maas is a goddess. She's one of my all-time favorite writers. And I had the chance to meet her, and she's a wonderful human being as well. If you don't know what this book is about, it is her first adult fantasy novel series. So Sarah J. Maas usually writes young adult novels such as Throne of Glass, A Court of Thorn and Roses, although that one's kind of pushing it. But this one is straight up adult. Like she says, it's an adult novel. Don't like, if you want young adult, like don't come reading this book. But it is fantastic. So I don't want to say too much about it because I'm actually really upset that I read the blurb, because it kind of ruins the shock factor of something. But basically, there is this girl named Bryce, and something bad happens in her life, and now she is trying to like get revenge, okay? And she gets paired up with this sexy angel. And that is all I really want to say about it. And there are like angels, vampires, werewolves, fae, demons, all kinds of crazy stuff. But the world, it's not Earth, okay? But they still have like phones and social media and cars. So it's like our world, but on another planet. And if there were fairies and vampires and angels, which sounds so cool. Okay, and another major premise of this book is that there are humans, and the humans are kind of treated as less than. Political turmoil and war and rebellion and discrimination all going on as well. It's just a really, really cool world to read about. And at first, it was kind of hard for me to be like, wait a second, like fae and angels, but they have cell phones? Like, what is this? Like, and they're going clubbing? Like, what? So at first, it's kind of like, but then you're like, okay, I understand. And then like after the first couple pages, you're like, okay, I understand what's going on now. A little weird, but like I'm in the world now. I understand. Because Sarah J. Maas is a queen of world building. So that's all I kind of want to say if you don't know what else happens in the books. Here's my biggest complaint with the book. And it's not even the book itself. It's the blurb. So you know, like this little thing over here that tells you what the book is about? Well, I read that first because I wanted to know if I would like it or not, or what it was about. I guess I was curious, and I read the blurb before I knew I was going to read the book. Like, I think I read the blurb on Goodreads, actually, and then a couple days later I was like, I think I want to read that. But the blurb tells you that Bryce's friends get murdered, and that is the reason that she wants revenge. Okay? Which is fine if that would have happened before the book took place, like before the book started. Instead, the first 100 pages was me falling in love with Danica and Connor and Thorn and the Pack of Devils, and knowing that they were gonna die. Like, I just knew. Like, it says our friends are murdered, so you just know that they're the ones that are gonna die, right? And so I kept turning the page like, okay, this is when it's gonna happen. Okay, this is when it's gonna happen. And I was kind of mentally preparing myself since like the first page because, you know, the blurb told me what was going to happen. And if the blurb wouldn't have told me that the Pack of Devils and Danica got murdered, the shock factor and the emotion level would have been through the roof, because I was already emotional when they got murdered, but I was prepared for it. If I wasn't prepared, I would have been sobbing, I think. And so I kind of wish I didn't read the blurb because I kind of wanted that emotional reaction, but I guess at the same time I'm kind of glad because I was able to maintain my composure, but I think it would have been way cooler if I did have like a I don't know, I just think that would have been more fun going into the book blindly and maybe knowing like a girl is getting revenge and gets paired up with a sexy angel. Like, I would have still read that. I would have still read it if that was all the blurb said. But instead it said a spoiler. I've actually been in a reading slump lately, and I don't think I've read a book since like June. And that's crazy for me. And it's even crazy to admit that because usually I'm like, yeah, I'm reading lots of books. But I'm not right now. I'm reading Shakespeare plays for my class, and that's pretty much it. And so I decided, Elayne, turn off Gossip Girl and pick up a book. And I'm so glad that I picked this one up. And I've like wanted to do nothing but read. And I haven't been like that in a while. And I think it's just because, you know, the world's a little crazy and it's way easier to watch Gossip Girl because I know it's gonna happen and I know I love the characters and it's like a comfort, and this is like completely uncharted territory. I haven't read fantasy in a long time, especially adult fantasy, and so it's just different for me, and I am so glad that I'm reading it because this book, let me just tell you, is amazing. I can already tell it's gonna be one of my all-time favorites. I find myself skipping on the pages, you know, like when you're reading and you're at the top of the page but you look really quickly at the bottom to see what's gonna happen on the page, and I'm like, Elayne, quit doing that, just read the page and you'll find out what happens. But I can't help it because I just want to know what happens so badly in this book. So yeah, I have got to go. I've got to go do work, and I will be back at 2:30 to talk to you more about this book and my thoughts as I continue to read, because I have a lot already and I want to talk more about it, but I've got to go be a responsible human being, and I will see you guys later. Here is my breakfast lunch. It is like 1 o'clock and I'm just now eating. I made scrambled eggs with cheese and spinach, which it doesn't look the most appetizing, but it's really good, and then pineapple because pineapple is my favorite fruit. Yeah, so I'm gonna eat this. It wasn't supposed to rain today. I checked because it's been raining all week and it started pouring. You guys see this? And I was sitting outside on the couch cushions and my dad and I had to sprint to cover all the cushions with our like tarp so they wouldn't get soaked. And so much for reading outside all day. But it's fine because it's raining. I like to read in the rain, but it's like pouring. It's fine. It's gonna be a great rainy fall day. Adaptability. It's key to life. I don't know if you guys can see it, but it is storming and raining, but also sunny. There's like clouds, and I'll try to like, let me just, can you see that? No? Anyways, it's like sunny, but also storming at the same time, and this is probably one of my favorite types of weather because every time it's storming but also sunny, it makes me think of, even though there are bad times and bad things happening, there's still always a little bit of sunshine, and you gotta try to focus on that sunshine and not let the storm clouds get you down. So I absolutely love this kind of weather. It is now 3 o'clock. My meeting went a little bit over, but that's fine, that's fine. Like I said, today is all about adaptability. So it stopped raining, which I was starting to enjoy the rain because in Crescent City it rains all the time. So I kind of felt like I was in the book, if you know what I mean. It's not raining anymore, so I'm sitting outside. I had to change because it was kind of cold this morning, and now it's like 70 something degrees. So I had to put on a tank top because I would sweat a lot, and I'm not trying to do that right now. So anyways, I'm gonna try to read until 4 o'clock. I'm gonna read for an hour and maybe take a break and then probably read some more. I will say I do really want to watch The Witches tonight, so I might not finish this book because I really want to watch that. I will keep you all updated, and I'm gonna get to reading. it just started raining, pouring again after I uncovered all the cushions and put them back out on the couch. So I just had to recover them all back up in the rain. Once again, adaptability seems to be the theme of the day, but I just can't catch a break because I just burnt myself with this lighter. I hate these kinds of lighters. Who invented them and for what reason? I guess smoking? Because they do not help me light my candle efficiently, and I just burned myself and it really hurts and I'm too scared to use it again. So now I only have 1 out of the 3 wicks lit. I guess that's gonna have to be good enough. It's gonna be fine. It's Friday. I think I'm gonna get Mexican food tonight. I'm just trying to stay positive. Like I said, we gotta focus on that sunshine. All right, I'm gonna try to read. I'm gonna try, but Lord knows what's gonna happen after I sit down to read. I'll probably start writing in my room. Maybe it'll start leaking from the ceiling. We'll see. I'll let you know. Hey guys, I just got done eating Rio Grande with my family, which is one of my favorite restaurants with the best food ever. And now we are going to go watch The Witches on HBO Max with Anne Hathaway, which I am super excited about. I've been waiting for this movie for a long time. I didn't get as much reading done as I wanted to so far today, mostly because I would go to sit outside and then it would start raining and I had to sprint back inside and cover up the cushions. And then I would be like, I think it's gonna be good, and I'd get the cushions already and then it would start raining again. So I've only read like 50 pages today, and I really wanted to finish this book either today or tomorrow. But if I read all night and tomorrow, I should get it done by the weekend, and then I can move on to something else because I'm really in a reading mood right now, which is really good, and I'm gonna roll with it. That's an update, and I will let you guys know what I think of The Witches. Wow, Dad, you look really comfy over there.
He's gonna sleep and we know it.
Where am I supposed to sit?
Right here. Get us some blankets here.
Did you like the movie?
No.
Yes, you did. Liar, liar, plants for hire. My mom and my sister and I just went and got peanut butter milkshakes from UDF, which is a gas station chain around my area. They have the best peanut butter milkshakes with chocolate milk in the entire world. I crave them anytime I'm not here. I don't know if I mentioned this, but I have been home for like 2 weeks. I got a contact tracing call back on the 9th, and I know who I came in contact with that tested positive for COVID. So U of L, my college, required me to isolate and quarantine for 10 days. So I came home for those 10 days and stayed in my room, you know, chilled, laid low. My quarantine technically ended on a Monday, and I hate driving back to school in the week because it just makes me like frazzled, like switching locations, like when I have things to do. And I know that's kind of weird because it's only like an hour-and-a-half drive, but I don't like to do it, and I prefer not to. I prefer to wait until the weekend or a Friday. I've been having a lot of fun at home. My cat is here and I love my kitty. I have a deck outside that I can go read on, and I just have been enjoying my time here, especially because I love the fall and my home is very pretty during the fall. I just watched The Witches and it was really good. You know, it's kind of cheesy at parts, but it's a children's movie and you kind of know what's gonna happen. But I had also read the book as a child. I really liked it. I think that the actors did a great job. Of course, Anne Hathaway was amazing. It was really funny too. Like even my dad was laughing at it. We watched it as a family. And yeah, I thought it was really cute. I don't really have much else to say about it. It's not like a movie that I can like critically review. It's a children's movie. They did a great job. Octavia Spencer was really good. The little boy who played, I don't know his name, but the little boy was really good. He was really cute. Kristen Chenoweth was one of the mice, and that was a great surprise. It's a great movie to watch, especially right around Halloween. It's a great movie to watch with kids and your family, and yeah, I think it's one that I will definitely watch every year. Although it was a little creepy, like Anne Hathaway looks really creepy in it. Her feet have like one long toe and she only has like 3 fingers and there's like boils all over her head. They did do a really great job with the costuming, but it's really weird, and her arms can like stretch so far and like bend in all different directions. But besides the creepiness, it was really cute and I'm glad we watched it. So now on to reading. Like I said, I haven't read that much so far. I think I said earlier I had only completed like 50 pages today. I'm hoping to get another 50 at least done. I want to make it to the 600 page mark before I call it a day. That way I only have 200 pages left, and there's a book that I have been really wanting to pick up and start reading, so hopefully I can finish Crescent City either today, probably not, but tomorrow or even Sunday, and then I can jump into the next book, which I will talk about later. Good morning, everybody. It is now Saturday, October 24th? Yeah, it's the 24th. Okay, I had all these lofty goals for reading last night, and I conked out at like 11. I crashed after we watched The Witches. I probably read like 3 more pages. I woke up at midnight and I was like, whoa. And yeah, so I didn't get as much read last night as I wanted to. Today, I'm getting my nails done. I am going to the bookstore to buy a new book that I have been dying to read. So hopefully I can get way more of Crescent City done. But I would like to take you guys along with me today as I go to the bookstore. Loki. Hi, kitty. Like what? There's something about her. Really pay attention. I just got back from Barnes & Noble. I got 2 new books. I will show you them. The first one is The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue by V.E. Schwab. I don't know much about this book. I know it like just came out like on October 6th. I'm pretty sure it's about a girl who can like live forever, but people can't remember her. I think that's all I know about it. I am on a Taylor Jenkins Reid email subscribe list, like an email, like a newsletter that she sends out, and this was a book that was on her recommendations list, and it sounded really cool, and so I thought I would pick it up. The other book that I got is The Bear and the Nightingale. It's the Winter Night trilogy. Yes, and it's by Catherine Arden. I don't know anything about this book. I think it has something to do with Russia, and I think it takes place a long time ago. The reason I know about this book is because of HarperCollins' Twitter page. They had tweeted, give us a type of genre that you want to jump into and we will give you a book recommendation. And I said, I want to get back into fantasy, but I don't want something super long and like boring. And so they recommended this. They responded to me and told me this, and it's not very long. It's pretty short. I'm excited about it. I checked it out on Goodreads and people were raving about it, giving it great reviews. So I got these 2 books, and then also there's footage of the Avatar book. I can't remember what it's called. It's about the girl Avatar, like 2 before Aang, Kyoshi or whatever her name is. But my sister got that for herself because she loves Avatar. Now I am home and it's like 1 o'clock and I'm just gonna read and probably take a nap because shopping, I didn't even really shop. I got 2 books. I knew exactly what I was looking for. But going into stores makes me so tired. Like, I'm already so sleepy. I am a huge sucker for a hard exterior, angry, mean, killing machine character who has a soft side. It doesn't have to be a killer either. Like, I love Josh from The Hating Game, Joshua Templeman, and he's kind of like a tough exterior, sweet inside. I just love those characters, and Hunt from Crescent City, and even kind of Bryce is like it too, but Hunt is like the definition of a strong, badass, perfectly chiseled man who has a sweet, soft inside, and I love him. And Bryce is kind of the same way. She like puts off this air that like she doesn't care about anything and she doesn't have any emotions, and she closes everybody out and pushes them away because she doesn't want anybody to get close to her and be able to hurt her, but on the inside she just wants love and wants to give love. I think that's one of the reasons that I'm enjoying this book so much, is because it has so many of the tropes and character types that I love. For example, this book kind of starts out as enemies to lovers. I don't know if they're gonna become lovers because I'm not done yet, But at the beginning, they kind of hate each other, and Hunt assumes that Bryce is some arrogant party girl who only cares about her nails and her hair and getting high and having sex and drinking and partying, and Hunt just assumes she's like this very superficial hot girl, right? And Bryce thinks that Hunt has like a stick up his ass and that he's like a douchebag and an alpha male and is controlling and toxic. And so they both kind of make all these assumptions about one another, and they kind of don't like each other, and they kind of get on each other's nerves and ruffle the wrong feathers. As time goes on, they start to like realize who each other really is and who they really are on the inside. They start to have like some sexual tension going on, you know, like Hunt's like, Bryce is kind of cute, and Bryce is like, Hunt, I didn't know you had them abs. And then they start to like each other, okay? And like there's like this like sexual tension right now, and Sarah J Maas is building it up really well, okay? Like it's like the hating game level, where, you know, Lucy and Josh couldn't, like, they were like, we're only gonna do it one time, and like it's building up to this one thing. Well, that's kind of like what Sarah J Maas is doing, right? Like she's building it up, and they're like imagining these things that they would do with each other, and it's like just so much build up. And I think like it's gonna be good when they get together, and it's gonna be good when they're like dating. But Bryce describes Hunt, because he's the Umbra Mortis, the shadow of death, as, you know, not, he doesn't just date, you know, he's all in or nothing. And I cannot wait for them to be all in, because he's gonna be the, like, my dream man to read about. Like I love the meanies with the soft inside, like I love them. And I think that's the reason that I'm loving this book so much. And I just now like realized that all these tropes in this book are my favorite ones, like people getting paired up to work with each other and that they don't really like each other, but then they like are like, oh my gosh, maybe I do really like them. And you know, you've got the meanies with soft insides, and you've got just like, I just am loving it. And I'm excited to see if Bryce and Hunt actually end up together. And if they don't, then she's got all this build up for nothing, man. But let's see what happens. I just hit the 600 page mark, and what is going on? Like, it's getting crazy. I cannot stop reading. It's just plot twist after plot twist, and you think you have everything figured out, right? Because they're trying to like solve this mystery murder thing. And then like you think you know what's going on, and then they add another level. Like Sarah J Maas adds a whole nother level. And then this part that I'm at, they're on a barge, if you know what I'm talking about. If you've read the book, you know what I'm talking about. Like, what is going on? Oh my gosh, I have to keep reading. This book is so crazy. It's so crazy. I'm obsessed. I just had to take a minute because like, it's just so good. And what is going on? Oh my gosh. Okay, I have to go finish it. It's a crazy adventure. If you have not read this book, oh my gosh, it is a wild time, and I am loving every minute of it. Okay, except for not right now, because right now I'm like I'm about to like cry. Like, okay, I'm gonna keep reading. I'm gonna keep reading and see what's going on. I will be back. Guys, I literally cannot believe what's going on right now. You think it's all about this horn, and they gotta find this like magical relic, and then like they throw in this thing, like the horn can like summon demons, okay? And it's cracked, and somebody wants to steal it and fix it so that they can summon a bunch of demons, right? But then they're like, well, how would they fix it? So then they're like, okay, maybe it's this like medicine, but then the medicine is like a drug, and it's just like there's so many layers, and they just keep layering up. And what is being revealed right now is literally insane. Like I can't This is such a wild ride. It's midnight and I'm going to keep reading. I usually go to bed right at midnight, but this book is just a wild ride and I just can't stop reading it and I have to know what happens next. Look, I don't have that much more left. I think I can finish it this weekend, like my goal was. So, it's nighttime. I'm gonna read for a little bit more until I conk out, and then in the morning I will tell you how many pages I got read. And yeah, we're gonna keep going with this adventure and see what happens to Bryce. Because I feel so bad for her right now. It's like my heart is broken for the main character. Her name is Bryce Quinlan, and she's like super amazing and she's been through so much in her life and she just got put through something horrible again and it's like she can't catch a break. I only want the best for her and my heart's breaking for her and I'm just gonna keep reading and hopefully her story gets better. And I have a lot of theories about what's in store for her, so I'm anxious to see if my theories are correct or not. So, but for now, I'm going to bed, reading a little bit more, then going to bed. And I will see you guys on the flip side. Good morning, guys. It is Sunday, October 25th. Update on my reading status. I hit the 700 page mark last night. You should have seen me last night. I was literally flopping like a fish in my bed, like freaking out. The part that I just read, it was so intense. And just when you think you have everything figured out, Sarah J. Maas really just throws something at you and you're like, I haven't been this absorbed in a book in a long time. The emotions that the characters are feeling, I am feeling them too. I haven't felt secondhand embarrassment and secondhand anger and sadness like this in a long time. And last night, the parts that I were reading were really emotional. If you've read this book, I got to the part, the barge, the Viper Queen, and you find out some stuff, and then I got to the part where Bryce is like, take me, and oh my gosh, I was literally like, I had to shut the book and be like, Bryce, you're really giving me secondhand embarrassment right here. Like, she just has no fear. I cannot imagine living like that. Reading about characters who are completely fearless and just don't give a shit about what anyone thinks is just like, it's a wild ride because I have fear. And she does not. And so when I'm reading, I'm like, if this were me, I could never. And so it's just really interesting reading about a perspective that's so different than your own because you're like thrown into their shoes and you're feeling what they're feeling, and it's just such a weird experience that you can only really get from reading, I think. I get it with movies too. Like when I'm watching Emily in Paris, there's this like a really embarrassing part and I had to pause it and like walk away. It's not as up close and personal as it is with a book, and I think that this one has really been giving me all the emotions and all the feels. So I'm gonna try to finish it today. I have 100 pages left and I can do it, and I will tell you how it goes. So yeah, I'm gonna go get ready for the day and I will see you guys later. Okay, I just finished Crescent City. This is probably one of the best books I have read in a long time. Just when you think you have everything figured out, Sarah J. Maas just adds another layer on there. Like, okay, at the beginning of the book, you think it's just like, oh, it's a cute little murder mystery. But then at the end, it's just so much more. It's crazy to me how good Sarah J. Maas is at taking such a small thing and turning it into a crazy world-building adventure. She really did this. She really took 800 pages and turned it into one of the best reading experiences I have ever had in my entire life. I'm not exaggerating. This is probably one of the best books I have ever read in my entire life. I devoured it. I loved it. I want more. I cannot wait until more come out. The last line, I will not spoil it for those of you who haven't read it, but the last line of the epilogue has me screaming, like, and okay, so like Hunt and Bryce, there's like all this build up, okay, and I'm just ready for the build up. I'm just ready for the build up to reach the end point, okay? Like Sarah J. Maas really kept being like, okay, here's what, here, not yet, not yet, like, she keeps building it up and building it up, and she never gives it to us. But those of you who have read it, you know what I'm talking about. Literally, just when you think you have everything figured out in this book, like you think you know every detail, you think you know who the bad guys are, who the good guys are, it just completely switches. Like every 100 pages. And the last 100 pages of this book were literally insane. I just sat here and read them all because I literally could not stop. For real, I am not exaggerating when I say that I think this is one of my all-time favorite books now. The writing is so good, the world building is so good, the layering is so good, the character development, and the way that she's able to write. It's, okay, so it's all from third person, right? But you're reading about different people's perspectives. It's like third person limited on each person, kind of like Throne of Glass, you know, and the way that she's able to do that, and you're really able to get into the heads and feel the emotions of each character, even though there's so many, and it's from third person, impeccable that she's able to do that. I have never been so emotionally connected to these two characters as I have with this, just because she does such a great job of really putting you in the mindset. I think I was talking earlier about how different Bryce is from myself, and I was really able to like understand a person entirely different than myself, and that is what writing is about. That is what storytelling is, being able to understand someone completely different than yourself because of the words on these pages and because of the emotion and depth that the authors give them. And I really understood Bryce, and I wanted nothing but the world for her, and so many other characters as well, like her brother and just all the characters. Like you just get so invested. It's crazy to me that she's able to do that for so many different characters. That's what I think her real skill is. Not only is it world building and layering, but it's being able to give us the emotional depth and character development and innermost thoughts of multiple characters, but we're still able to connect to each of them. That is something that I admire so much about her writing. Sarah J. Maas is probably one of the best authors I've ever read. Like, I just think she is so talented, even though she does say the phrase, her toes curled, multiple million times. That's just her signature, and I've gotten to love it. So that's kind of my final thoughts of this book. If you haven't read it, this is your sign to go buy this book and read it, because you will not regret it. It combines fantasy, romance, action, adventure, magical realism, everything you could ever want from a story, into 799 pages. So, and I know that sounds like a lot if you're not a hardcore reader, but I read this book in like less than a week, and that's usually unheard of for me during school times, just because I have so much going on and so much other reading to do for my major. I cannot rave about this book enough. I just can't wait for the next one. And that last line really got me, and I was literally, guys, I was literally having like flopping like a fish again in my room, and I was like literally physically reacting to the story, because it is that powerful and it is that emotionally gripping. My goal is to finish it this weekend, so I'm really proud of myself, because reading has been on my back burner lately because of school and COVID and work and everything, and I'm proud of myself that I was able to do something that I loved. And yeah, I'm excited to keep reading, and I don't know when the next book of these come out, but you can bet your bottom dollar I will read it the day that it comes out. And I am so grateful that I stumbled upon this book. And Sarah J. Maas, if you ever see this, you are a goddess. A goddess of writing, a goddess of world building, a goddess of character development. She's like one of my author role models, and that's why her books mean so much to me. This is the end of this vlog. I hope you enjoyed coming along with me for the wild ride of reading the second half of Crescent City by Sarah J. Maas. And I hope that you all are doing well, and I hope that you all are finding things that make you happy as well, and that give you positive experiences, whether it be books, movies, writing, knitting, baking. So I hope you guys are doing well, and thank you so much for watching, and read Crescent City if you haven't.